Thank you, Yanchi, for this nice introduction. Today, we are going to talk about the compliance checker module of Chemicalize. This is a quite special and absolutely unique function in Chemicalize, and no other place where you can use this compliance checker functionality out of the ChemAxon tools. Before I starting to talk about this module, I would like to remind you about the upcoming webinar related to the credit system, commercial uses, subscriptions, and other legal and security aspects of the full Chemicalize solution. If you want to join Thursday, you are highly welcomed in the same time. The agenda of today is quite simple, like in the previous webinars. We start with a brief overview presentation. After that, I show you the main function as a live demo, and after that, you have some time to ask questions, and we try to answer to you. My subtitle of my presentation is Instant Legal Support for Your Research. This title is maybe too strong, but I describe why I say that. What is Compliance Checker? Compliance Checker is a controlled substance detection system. It's based on national and international regulation of 18 countries, including the regulation related narcotics, psychotropic drugs, explosives, hazardous materials, or toxic agents. This system is developed by ChemAxon, the engine behind it based on ChemAxon technology, but the data behind it, the chemical representation of the legal regulations is created by a Japan company or partner Petcor. What is the main use cases where you can find useful this solution? You can use this if you want to order any compound for your synthesis or high throughput screening or any other reason for your company, because you can be sure this compound is not under some regulation in your country or the starting country where you order it. Based on the national regulations, sometimes check this is your responsibility. Sometimes your company has a compliance officer, and in this case, the compliance officer responsibility. Sometimes, in generally, from legal perspective, it's a responsibility of a company some way. As I said, is depending on the national regulation. It can be really useful if you want to synthesize something new. It can be also really useful if you want to purchase something from outside your country. And it can be really useful if you want to check your current compound repository, it's under regulation or not. Something under regulation means you need some extra paperwork. Something under regulation means you are not able to order the compound or produce it. It's based on case by case. What we offer you, it's a full chemical representation of the legalization. That means all legal documents are processed by our experts, and we create a chemical representation of the coverage of the chemical coverage of the legal document. That means after that, you will be able to chemically search, your compounds against the regulations. For example, here you can see some example. It's very hard to decide these compounds are under the UK MDA regulation or not. As you can see, some of these phosphate esters and alkylate compounds are under regulation, but chemically very similar other structures containing unsubstituted parts or different substituents are not under regulation. It's not easy to decide something is regulated or not, and this regulation is continuously changing, really hard to follow. We take this part from you, and we are able to do it, and you don't need to care about it. We regularly update the system following the continuous changing regulations, and the only thing you need to do to check your compounds against that, and we can give back you the relevant materials. Obviously, it's not only works with specific compounds, but you can also check salts and esters and other things against the system. We automatically normalize your compounds and check it against the legal documents. Some words about the accuracy of the system. Pistoli Alliance, you may know, this is a large umbrella institution over some big pharma companies, evaluated the accuracy of the system, and you can see here the results. It was quite good, but it was an earlier version of the system. We are quite sure the current version is still improved and much better than it was, but as you can see, most of the countries evaluated by Pistoli Alliance, the coverage of the system was really good. How it works in Chemicalize. Chemicalize contains a little bit simplified version of the compliance checker. We have a more advanced version as a separate application, but from Chemicalize you can use a simple single check version. That means you are not able to upload currently batch files containing hundreds of structures. You are only able to check your compounds one by one. The input method is really simple. Like any other module in Chemicalize, you are able to enter IUPAC names, MICE, INCHI, common name, drug name, acronyms, gas numbers, according to your preference. You are also able to draw a structure or upload it from a file as you want. And after that, you can select the countries what are interesting for you. This is a really important step because the price of the compliance check depends on your selection, the number of selected countries. It's not fully linear. That means if you select only one country, it's only 1 credit, but if you select all of the countries, it's not 18 credits, it's only 5. It depends on your selection. If the structure, what you check, is under regulation, you get back something like that. The graphical representation, your input, the countries included in your check, and the legal references related to the hit. If you click any of these legal references, we immediately open you in your browser the corresponding legal document, and you are able to double check what is the regulation and what is the what do you need to do to fit to this regulation. If the compound is not under regulation, you give back a message like that, and it says this compound is you are safety order this compound. It's not you don't need to make extra paperwork or anything else to order this compound or produce it. Some word about the upcoming features. Currently, you are not able to export the results, only you can make a print screen, and the data is also stored in our internal system. But later you will be able to do a PDF report if you want to save someone else your report results. Maybe we'll also integrate the batch check functionality if required, and you will be able to select any date from the past, and you will be able to check the regulation in a selected day in the later version. These are the current plans, but we are fully open for suggestions. If you have any ideas related to this compliance checker module, please don't hesitate and share with us using this chemicalize@chemaxon.com address. That was the presentation part, And after that, as I mentioned, I would like to show you a live demo of the system, how it works. Sorry, I forgot to mention, as a part of hands-on, you are also able to join. Just visit chemicalize.com and you are able to do the same what I presented yet. If you visit the Chemicalize homepage, first you can see this welcome screen. If you not have a Chemicalize account, you are able to free register one, or if you already have, you are able to log in simply. Just use your Chemicalize account. In the dashboard, you got a very simple description of the main functionality. The subject of today's presentation, this compliance checker. Let's click on it. And as you can see, here is the compliance checker module main view. You are able to add any compound name. For example, let's check something very simple, aspirin. And as you can see, aspirin is not under regulation in any countries because I selected all of them. If you change your selection, for example, check less countries, you can say only France is interesting for you and US. You can, it takes only 2 credits, but for the demo, let's use all of the countries available. Let's check something what is under regulation, maybe heroin. Yes, and as we expected, we can see heroin is strongly regulated in different countries. This is subject of many different national and international regulation. Let's check one of these regulation. For example, let's see some US regulation of heroin. It's maybe a little bit slow, but let's check some UK regulation. It's faster coming. As you can see, this is the legal document. What was the basis of our legal hit? And you can check where is it mentioning heroin, and you can check the details of the regulation related to the compound. These 2 examples are quite trivial, but I want to show you this is not so trivial in many cases. For example, maybe you think caffeine, it's not under regulation because it's a quite safe compound, but as you can see, there are some regulation related to caffeine. In China, it's under some drug regulation. Unfortunately, I'm not able to translate you the details, but our experts are quite sure this is under regulation in this country. Other quite simple materials like acetone also regulated. For example, in some countries, as you can see, this is only regulated in this case if over this 50 kilograms. Under that, you are safe to order. Mainly, maybe if you want to make a general laboratory experiment, you will be under this limit, but it's really useful to check it and understand it, it's regulated or not. And as I said, these regulations are changing very quickly. That means you can't be sure if something is not regulated today, it will be not regulated next week or next year. You really need to check it every as regular as you order the different compounds. That was the main presentation of compliance checker. This is a quite basic functionality yet. As I said, we are continuously working to add more function if you need. There are some other things that I forget to mention. For example, you are able to reload your compliance check results from your history. If you open the history, as you can see, all of the previous compliance check are here, and you are able to reload any of this previous calculation from the history quite easily. This can be useful if you log out and maybe tomorrow or next week come back and check your previous results. That's the main functionality, and I open for your questions if you have.